I was just talking about these MPPTs and kind of the minimum charge that you can get with them. And just something that I've kind of seen, obviously I haven't tested every power station out there. So, who knows? Who knows what, how accurate this information is in this video, but this is just kind of like what I've seen is that typically these power stations that have a smaller solar input, like just like lower numbers, right? So like this is the EB55, and it's got 12. The MPPT is 12 to 28 volts, and it's like 200 watts max or something like that. So this is kind of just like on the lower end range for inputs. Like typically we'll see on bigger units, you'll see not only more watts but a higher voltage range, right? So just something I've kind of typically seen and started to notice is that what's nice on these units that have like these lower voltage range, lower input MPPTs, is usually they do better when charging, like, with just a couple of watts coming in, basically, as you see here, 2 watts coming in, right? And this is just kind of nice to be able to get charge even when your solar panels aren't putting out a lot of light, because this can add up. Like this can be like, sometimes this can be several hours per day, right? That maybe your panels, instead of getting no charge, instead of just like being, SOL, you can actually still get a little bit more charge from, right? So this could be dawn, dusk. It could be just, a really cloudy, gloomy day. Maybe even some light rain. Or maybe you have some panels that, at a certain time of day, they just get some shadows on them, right? So this is kind of like what's happening right here, actually, for me right now, is there's just some heavy shading on this panel. This is just a 100-watt panel. And even though a lot of it's still in the sun, this is just typically what happens, right? But this Blue Eddy still charging up, right? Still getting a couple of watts. And think about it, if this goes for a couple more hours, I mean, that's that adds some charge, right? So and to compare, like I said, with my experience, and just to kind of show you what I'm talking about here, I'm gonna actually switch this up and plug it into my Jackery 1500. I just plugged it in my Jackery 1500, and so basically what we'll see happen here is, it sees the 2 watts, as you see, and then it just kind of craps out, right? It kind of gives up, and then basically it'll just keep cycling on and off, like it's trying to, it wants to pull more power, right? It's really trying to. I don't know the reason behind the programming of this, but I've seen this on many power stations. But like I said, this typically power stations that have a larger input voltage range and just can accept, a higher number of watts in general. So on this Jackery 1500, there's 2 inputs, but basically each input can do like, 50 some volts, and then it's like 300 watts or something like that, right? So that's like, almost double that input on the EB55. But as you see here, this is like, you're just you're not getting anything basically with this with the conditions of these panels right now, only putting out 2 watts. I mean, who knows if even, as you see it cycling on and off, who knows if it's even getting those 2 watts during the time it says, right? So but yeah, and this I don't know, this just doesn't seem like it's good for the MPPT, like the longevity of the MPPT either, right? To be cycling on and off and stuff like that. And then of course the screen stays on the whole time too, so you're probably using a watt for the screen. So yeah, you're basically not getting, this is just a waste of time, right? So yeah, so just making a quick video and just something to be aware of, and something that is nice about, smaller power stations, especially with that lower voltage range MPPT. So yeah, hopefully I found this interesting or helpful. Yeah, thanks for watching.